And my name is Minoria Ravindran, and I'm the international editor for Variety based out of London. Our team has been very closely watching the global release of Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which is coming out internationally ahead of the US during a global pandemic.
Hi, I'm Naman Ramachandran.
This is Kate Arthur. I'm Variety's editor-at-large. I hope you can hear me through my mask.
Hi, this is Jamie Lang, writer for Variety, working out of Madrid.
I'm getting out my face shield now as well. And here is my hand sanitizer.
Once we realized that Warner Brothers was releasing Tenet ahead of the US, our international team set out to see the safety measures and physical attendance in cinemas abroad. Just get a sense of what the safety precautions were in place across theaters, things that we'd been writing about for such a long time, but obviously hadn't really had an opportunity to cover because of the dearth of new releases in Europe. Between us, we were able to get a pretty good picture of how Tenet was unspooling, basically, and how audiences were reacting to this film.
We are very excited because we are waiting this for like 8 months.
There's one thing, obviously, to be really excited, but, were people comfortable and happy and safe in the theaters?
Well, I'm here. It's the 10 a.m. screening of Tenet, which I believe is the first public screening on the Wednesday.
I had booked a 10 a.m. Cineworld Leicester Square screening because that was, from what I could tell, the earliest public screening for the film. In normal times, I have no doubt that cinema would have been packed because of bragging rights in terms of people just wanting to say, hey, I was first. I saw the film before anyone else. Once I actually got to the theater, the manager there told me that only 4 tickets had been sold. I sort of realized that the 11 a.m. IMAX screening would probably yield more people because there were 89 tickets, they told me, that had been sold at that point. That cinema has almost 700 seats. That really struck me as quite low, even with the distancing. How cinemas are responding to COVID has been a huge point of discussion in the UK for the last several months. There was nothing out of the ordinary. It was all things that people would have expected. Right as soon as you get in, you see the board with all of the precautions that they're taking. And obviously there was hand sanitizer as well. As soon as you get to the cashier, basically, all of the general concessions were still available. There was some sort of distancing between in terms of the queue. Most people had masks on. I didn't hear a single complaint in terms of people being uncomfortable having to wear the masks. I mean, keep in mind as well, in the UK, initially, people didn't need to wear the masks inside the auditoriums. They needed to wear the masks in the main areas of cinemas. But then over time, about a month ago, basically, the government said that you needed to wear a mask within the auditoriums. In Paris, our French correspondent, Elsa Cassasi, had quite an experience. It's something that really differed to what we saw in London. I mean, the Grand Rex obviously is a historic cinema. She was definitely in a prime location for that screening. People were fine with wearing masks within the cinema. Inside, they just took it off, basically. So I think once those regulations put in place in terms of having to wear the mask, I think it's probably going to be a slightly different story there. Spain has had a really interesting journey with COVID in the sense that things were very dire. And then they got better, and then they've kind of gotten worse again in the last month or so.
Which is right next to the ice skating rink, which was for a few weeks used to house the overflow of dead bodies because of the coronavirus.
The mask situation was quite interesting in terms of not many people adhering to the face coverings within the cinema, and also having sort of the lack of signage within the premises. Obviously completely different to what we've seen in the UK and in France, I believe, where some of these things are very clearly laid out. You can see that we're at a critical juncture right now in global moviegoing, and Tenet is only the beginning. We've got Black Widow, we've got Bond, we have Mulan in certain territories. There's a whole road ahead of us, and Variety obviously will be on the ground, but will the audiences? I guess we'll find out.